Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope y'all had a nice break. I know that y'all been in class Monday and Tuesday. Today's Tuesday for your OB maternal mother child, whatever it's called, class. But I know that we meet for Med Surg 1 starting tomorrow. We only have about a minute to cover a lot of material. So, we're used to meeting all day, and now we only have from 8:30 until 12. So every minute is valuable in Med-Surg. And I can't take time from that to go over the syllabus tomorrow. So I thought I would go ahead and share my screen and do a video review of the syllabus and lesson plan so that you can just watch it. And ask questions tomorrow, just a few questions. So anyway, I'm going to share my screen so that we can do this together. All right, let me get back in the swing of things. It's been a minute. Okay, y'all should be able to see that pretty good. Okay, so here we go. Obviously, and this is the one I emailed y'all, the last one that I emailed y'all. This is that same one. I don't think I've made any changes to it, but I wanted to go over a few things that have changed since last semester. So ideally, we wanted to meet face-to-face for class and all that, but we know that through the month of January, we're at least going to have to do virtual lecture and then just come for testing in person, just like we did last time. Unfortunately, I hope maybe in February we can start coming face-to-face for lecture, but if not, we'll just roll on with virtual like we've been doing. So anyway, we meet Wednesdays and Thursdays. Our class time is 8:30 until 12. And you will see that, on test days, you're going to have to come in person. We're going to start testing at 8 o'clock. So you'll need to be here about 5 minutes early. Some of y'all are, well, all of you may not be in the same room that you tested in last time, because remember we broke it up into 3 rooms. This time we will not be using the room that I was in, that front room 803. We won't be using it. We're only going to be using 833 and 821 further down the hall. So I will let you know what room you're going to be in for your test days. So anyway, you're going to come in, wear your mask. You're going to have to fill out the little self-disclosure, self-assessment form, and you'll sit down in your assigned seats and take your test. So I know that some people will probably have to move rooms, but hopefully that it won't be a big deal. So anyway, we also are going to have 4 clinical readiness lab days. Basically, you're going to come back in on those days, and we're going to do Foley's, IVs, physical assessment, all that stuff again before you go to clinical. So you get brushed back up on those skills. And those are on the lesson plan, and then as we get closer to the lab days, I'll let you know what time you need to be here. You're probably going to need to just be here all day or whatever the whole time is. So go ahead and plan for that. Anyway, this semester, just like last year, me and Gigi Ennis taught this. She's got certain chapters she teaches. I've got certain chapters I teach. She teaches her favorites. I teach my favorites, and that's how it goes. So her information is on here, as well as my contact information. And y'all know you're supposed to be using your STC email to communicate with us and give us, 24 to 48 hours to respond. Obviously, if it's during the week, it's going to be faster than if it's a weekend. But anyway, your texts, we know that it's the new F.A. Davis Med Surg book. It's the same care plan book, and we know ATI is never, ever going away. Software and supplies, this has not changed. I mean, obviously, you're going to be, when I'm lecturing, and probably Gigi also, you need to have paper and pens. So don't just be highlighting in your book. You need to have something to write with, because there'll be times, I know that I say, you better write this down or write it in the margin, and you're going to have to write it down because it won't necessarily be in the book. there are some things that are not in the book that we're going to add. So have your pen and paper ready so you can actually write and take notes. Okay. Y'all all know about your laptops, and none of that's changed. Course description. We are doing MedSurg 1 this year, and you're going to see the specific topics that we cover in just a minute. And the co-rec is maternal child nursing. So that's what you take on Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday is our time. So we're going to be going over oxygenation. And the good news is that a lot of this stuff that we're fixing to cover, especially this week, we covered it in fundamentals. Some of the videos that I'm going to put in our Blackboard class is the same stuff. So when you rewatch those and you're reading this stuff, hopefully you're like, whoo, I kind of know that. So you should do well, especially on this first test, because a lot of it is respiratory stuff that you just had, okay? So anyway, we're going to be doing oxygenation. Then you're going to be going over cardiac output and tissue perfusion. This is all about the heart, okay? And then you're going to have cognition, sensation, which is a lot of neurological things. Regulation of metabolism. This is endocrine and diabetes. Integumentary system. Y'all are really going to get detailed into the integumentary system. Mobility, which comes back. We did some of that in fundamentals, foundations of nursing. So you'll be going back over some musculoskeletal problems. Digestion, absorption, and elimination, which is GI nutrition things, where we'll talk about tube feedings. So there's no way that I can cover everything in the time we have. So you're going to be doing a lot of reading outside of class, and it's going to bring back in, like when we talked about GI tubes and NG tubes and feeding tubes. Hopefully you remember a lot of that information from last semester, because you're going to see it again this semester. All right. Immunity. This will be, we really didn't do a lot of this last semester. You're really going to get into it this semester. Hematology function is all things blood. We did a little bit of this. Fluid and electrolytes, we did a little bit of this. That also brings in some of your blood gases. So you might want to start, there's acid base, start looking back over those notes. This is brand new, pre-op, intraoperative, and post-operative care. This is, well, I won't say it's brand new, but it's got a lot of new content with a lot of medications and things that you do related to the operative period. Cancer, and with the cancer chapter, we also bring in the death and dying content. So let's see. Student requirements. This has not changed. We know that you have to have a 70 to take the final. That's the biggest thing. You have to have a 70 test average to sit for the final. And we know that 69.9 does not round up. So you have got to have that 70 on your tests. Let's keep going. You also have to have, when y'all go to clinical, you have to have a 70 clinical, and then you have to have an overall 70 average to move on to the next class. On the next page, it just talks about how the tests are done. We usually try to put 50 or 100 questions on the test. That way it's an even number that they count for, so that we don't have all these tenths and stuff like that. But we do try, if we do have anything that goes decimal points, we go to the 10th, and that has not changed. And we do not round up. We know that you have calculation exam. There's a calculation exam that you have to take before you go to clinical. Just like last time, you have 3 attempts to get that 100. And so you need to be, got all of your previous worksheets that Miss Brady gave you. You need to be pulling those out and working those. and doing them just like it's the real deal, okay? You need to be boxing your final answer, labeling it correctly. Let's see, you need to round it properly and all of those things. So do not wait until 2 or 3 days before your first calculation attempt to brush back up on those skills. You don't want to waste one of those chances. Y'all did very well last semester on your first attempt. So that's what we want this time. We want you to pass the first attempt. That way you can take that thing off your plate and you can move on and not have to worry about that anymore, okay? Let's see here. COVID mask requirement. COVID, we know that we, don't want you coming if you're sick or you've been exposed, and this is no different than last semester. So you can read back over that. Exams. We know that for now we've got it where y'all are going to come test in the classroom just like last time. I told you that you may not be in the same classroom, you might not sit in the same seat, but it'll still be a computer just like all the other computers, so that's not going to change. And we're going to clean them after you leave and in between and all that kind of stuff. Now, if we have to go to online testing, like for some reason, if we totally get shut down and you can't even come to test, that's when you will test like you did last semester with Miss Donna Jean. You'll test on your laptop at your house using Respondus and all that. So ATI, you still have lots of ATI to do this semester. We know that you need to do the most updated current version that is out there. And we know that anything that is graded, you have to have an 85 benchmark or higher. You can take it multiple times to get your 85. You have to have that. Even if you've done ATI assignments last semester, you will redo them this semester, some of them. So if you log in and you see you did it already, that has nothing to do with this semester. You're going to redo those and check them off of your check sheet that we'll look at. And just like last semester, you had to have your ATI done at noon the day before the test. It's exactly the same this semester. So if you had a test tomorrow, you had to have your ATI done by noon today, all of your ATI, okay? And I worked on your ATI sheet to try to color code it so that to try to keep people from missing things, so it'll catch your eye a little bit better. So maybe that'll help when we get to that. We'll look at it. Anyway, we know that if you don't have your ATI done, you're going to lose 10 points off of that test, and nobody can afford to lose 10 points. So ticket to class. Occasionally, you may have some homework or assignments that you have to do before you can log into the Blackboard class or come to class. We'll see about that. Simulation lab. This semester, I don't know that we're going to have a simulation lab, but we left it on here in case we did. So you can read about that. Clinical readiness. This one, I have a typo because originally it was 5 days and then we cut it to 4, but it's 4 for sure. 4 days for sure. Maybe a 5th if we need remediation or something. But anyway, this is when you have to come to lab, and we're going to do a whole day of Foley's, a whole day of IVs, a whole day of physical assessment with vital signs. And you're basically just going to get partnered up occasionally, and you may not be with the same person you were with last time. So because you need to learn how to assess different people. Because if you're just assessing the same person over and over, you're not really learning anything. So anyway, you may be with a different person, but these are mandatory. You have to come. They are right before you go to clinical. So we need you to know how to do a Foley and IVs and all these different things before you go to clinical on a live person, okay? And we are still planning for live clinical. We have students at live clinical right now. So I'm hoping that y'all are going to get to go and not have to do ATI clinical again. Good Lord, I hope not. But anyway, okay. Journals. Y'all still have journals this semester, okay? The journals are due every Monday by 8 o'clock in the morning. That has not changed. The only exception is if Monday's a holiday, and then you have until Tuesday. So make sure your journals are done, because we know that you're going to lose a point for every journal that's not done off your final average. And nobody wants to lose points, because that can cause you to not be here anymore. Okay. General attendance, y'all know about attendance. The one thing for this class, you can only miss 6 hours of class. 6 hours. So make sure that you are logging in on time. If you're not logging in on time and communicating with us, if you're having a problem getting in, then you definitely probably will be written up if you're not logging in and being there and showing up like you're supposed to. So make sure that you are not missing more than your 6 hours. And then, and that's the lecture part. Clinical is a little bit different. Here's the information if you think you need accommodations, if you have any disabilities, any certain absences, if you're pregnant, you start having complications or anything, you can talk to the same people, Miss Gay or Miss Thomas, and try to make the accommodations ahead of time if you think you're going to need anything. But you know, this is y'all are not new. This is your second semester here. You know how we do things. So really, y'all are hopefully you feel pretty good and comfortable right now. Withdrawal, that date is like March something, but hopefully everybody's going to be in here. We're not going to be talking about withdrawing, but if you are, you know you have to do it prior to the 65% point. Makeups, you ideally can only make up one test. We know that you will not get the same original test. It'll be a different test. And we're going to have something in writing from a physician, some appropriate documentation that we deem appropriate before you can take that makeup test. And if you don't provide documentation, you're going to lose 10 points off of your makeup. And nobody wants to lose points, okay? Student success plan, that has not changed. We know that we're going to be watching your average at the at different at the 25% mark and the 50% mark. We need you to have your grade 70 or higher. Hopefully you found your stride and you kind of know what to expect with tests and stuff, and you're going to be fine. And we won't have to do any student success plans for anybody. That would be fantastic. Academic dishonesty policy has not changed. Non-discrimination policy has not changed. All this other stuff is standard STC information. And now we get to the grading policy. So you're going to have 9 unit exams in MedSurg 1. Or chapter exam, same thing. 9 of those, they count for 55% of your average. The final, and you got to have a 70 unit chapter exam average to take the final, that is 25% of your average. Then if you have an overall 70, you move on to clinical, and clinical is going to count 20% of your overall average. Calculation exam, we already talked about that a little bit. You have to pass that before, and then we're fixing to get to the lesson plan. Okay, so here's our lesson plan. So we know that we meet Wednesday, which is tomorrow the 13th, and we are covering 2 chapters tomorrow, or I'm going to try to get 2 chapters in. I might have to get 7 and half of 23, but you need to read these chapters as much as you can before class tomorrow. And it should be a very easy review for you, because we kind of did this already in fundamentals. So if you have, when you come to this campus for testing or lab, you have to wear scrubs and either a scrub top or STC shirt with something STC. You have to wear that when you come to test or for labs or for any reason, anything to do with this program. You need to be wearing that along with a mask. Also, when you come for lab days, you have to have your KN95 or N95. And if we give you one, you have got to keep up with it, because we do not have as many as we had access to. So if you lose the one we give you or something, you're going to have to go get your own. So you've got to get the KN90, or I would have one on backup in case you leave yours in the car or whatever. But anyway, all right. So again, tomorrow we're going to be covering chapter 7, most of 23. It's not a test day, so that means that you need to be in Blackboard ready to go at 8:30. Now, we know that you can log in up to 15 minutes early. So at 8:30 tomorrow, I do not want to see anybody logging in at 8:30. You need to be logged in and sitting there at least a couple of minutes before 8:30. Okay, because we know that yesterday yesterday we had a student having trouble getting in. You're not going to know if you're having trouble if you wait till the last minute a lot of times. So you need to be in there ready to go live at 8:30. And we will meet until 12. And of course, we'll take breaks, because the Blackboard can't record for a long, long time. So we will take breaks, and then we'll come back. So you need to be available. On test days, we know that you're going to have to be at the school in your chair ready to test at 8 o'clock. So you'll have to be here about 7:55. And then the test is going to be from like 8 to 9-ish. And then we're going to start back in Blackboard Collaborate at 10 o'clock. We will not finish until 1:30 on test days. And that is because we have to have that time. So the time that we are losing testing, we had to tack it on to the end and it's only on test days. So only on test days, which will pretty much be Wednesdays for the most part, you're going to be in Blackboard Collaborate till closer to 1:30. We may finish at 1, if we push on through, but it depends on how big the chapters are too. But you're at your house, so you can have your food and drink while you are listening and paying attention in lecture. And let me tell y'all, Med-Surg is no joke. It is no joke. So you need to be really listening. If you have dogs and you got kids, you need to try to have them away from you and have it quiet where you can focus and listen. Okay, so we know that you're going to be reading and studying those chapters, your notes. We're going to have, like I'm loading some videos and some different things for respiratory content. Gigi will have some things that she does. She likes PowerPoint a lot. I might do PowerPoint, but I don't know that I'll let you see my notes, because I have little stars by what I might have a test question or whatever. So, but you're going to like Gigi. She is hysterical, but she has a very dry sense of humor. But anyway, so you also will have to make sure to get your ATI done on time. And in FA Davis, you are going to go into FA Davis and you're going to complete the assignments for these chapters. And that is not negotiable. You need to do your FA Davis work that goes with these chapters, okay? So then on Thursday the 14th, we are going to do chapter 25, and pretty much we only go through upper airway and Med-Surg 1. So in Med-Surg 2, you're going to have more oxygenation respiratory stuff, but it'll be lower airway, infective disorders of respiratory. So you're not totally done with respiratory this semester. You'll see it again in either Med-Surg 2 or 3. I can't remember which one. So anyway, on Thursday, that's a non-test day, so you'll just have to be logged in and ready to go at 8:30 so that we can get rolling. All right, and then on January 20th, which is next Wednesday, this is your first test, and it's going to be over 3 chapters, 7, 23, and 25. And that is your day that you have to be here, your booty in your seat in your classroom at 8 o'clock. And so I will email you and let you know what room you're going to go to, because we know it'll either be 833 or 821 down our hall, down the other hall down there. So you're going to be signed in, have your mask on at your desk, with either me. Well, I'll be in one room, Gigi will be in the other most days. And then you'll take your test, and you will have to log back in at 10 o'clock for that collaborate session. And we know that on that Wednesday, the 20th, you need to be expected to be in class until 1:30 to get the time in. And then we're going to cover, this actually is a week that you'll have Gigi. Gigi does cardiac for MedSurg 1. So chapters 28 and 29 is Gigi. And on January 21st, those two chapters, guess what? Got Gigi some more. So you won't have me at all for those days. That is all Gigi. Now, we do make our exams together. We both have input. Not to mention, we run it by Jennifer and Donna Jean to make sure our questions are fair and good and all that kind of stuff. But Gigi and I are the main ones making our tests. So, and it's just like it was before. You're going to have like 50 questions. You'll have about a minute a question. We'll give you a piece of paper to write with, all kind of the same thing. Let's see here. And then let's just roll on through. Okay, February 4th. That is the first drug calculation attempt. And you can see that it is not until 1 o'clock that afternoon. So when y'all finish lecture, you're going to have to get in your car and come to the campus, and we'll tell you what rooms to come to. We're going to have to split you up. You know, you'll go to whatever room you test in. So like whoever is in 833 testing, you'll go to that room to take the calculation exam. The calculation exam, unless they were to shut our school down, it's not online. You're going to come in person and take it with us. So that's the first attempt. We hope everybody passes. That way you're done with that. If it is not, if you forget to round or who knows what, you're going to scroll on over to Thursday, February 11th. That is the second calculation attempt. And then Lord knows, I hope nobody has to take the third attempt, because that's the next Thursday. We give you a full week in between attempts. Okay, so we're going to keep rocking along. March 4th is a Thursday. We have staff development for the school that day, so y'all do not have class. So you actually get to study at home, relax, sleep late, whatever you need to do, because you don't have to log in to collaborate that day. Okay, when you keep rolling on, okay, March 17th. This is when the first time that you need to get your lab books out, and I'm going to give those back to you because I know that they're here. I'm going to give you lab books back, and you're going to review the lab procedures that are coming up, because Thursday, March 18th is your, you got a lot going on that day, a lot. So even though it's technically a med-surg day, y'all are going to come in at 8 o'clock, and y'all are taking your last test for Donna Jean and Mimi. You're going to be taking your last OB-PEDS test, okay? And then you're going to, we're going to do lecture, and we're going to do our first lab readiness day, which is head to toe and vital signs from 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock. You'll be here. And on that day, I mean, you probably don't want to come here, take a test, go all the way home, and then turn around and come back for lab. So you may want to bring your laptop or go over to our computer labs in the other building and log in and bring your earphones. And you may want to just listen here at the school, because y'all are only covering one chapter that day. You're only doing the chapter 5, palliative and end-of-life care. That way you're here. So you're not like coming for the test, going back home, coming back for lab. Anyway. Okay, on March 22nd, this is a Monday, you will be taking the final for OB maternity. And then as soon as that's done, we're going to be in the lab. And that day is a long day. So estimated from 11 o'clock in the morning till 1700, we're going to be doing Foley's. And y'all are going to be doing SimMom. And I think Miss Brady probably, or Mimi already told y'all about that. That's the mannequin that we have that actually gives birth. So they're going to have that set up where y'all can watch the delivery. And then on March 23rd is a Tuesday. Now this is a med-surg test day. So towards the end, it's not all Wednesday, Thursday med-surg 1. Monday, Tuesday is only OB. It's going to kind of get blurred a little bit. So you really got to be on it with your planning so that you don't miss something, okay? So Tuesday, March 23rd will be the last chapter test for med-surg 1. And then we're going to do our final lab, well, not the final, our third lab day, which is all IVs. IVs all day long from 9:30, estimated 9:30 in the morning until about 4 o'clock that afternoon. And then on Wednesday, the 24th, this is a makeup day. If anybody that has missed a test for any reason, you're going to come at 8 o'clock that morning and we'll do makeups. And then if you don't have a makeup, then you don't have to come at 8. You won't come until 9 o'clock. Because 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock that afternoon is medication administration lab, where we're gonna draw up meds again, do some PO meds, all that kind of stuff. Y'all are gonna give injections to each other again. So I will remind you of this before it gets closer. And then on March 25th, which is a Thursday, you will take the final for med-surg, and then you're going to be here all day until 3 o'clock because whatever we need to do to get y'all ready for clinical, we will be doing it. There's some paperwork or whatever we need to do to get you set for clinical, because clinical starts on March 29th. And you will get a clinical schedule before that so you know where you're going. And I know Miss Brady has already sent an email to y'all about making sure to get your My Clinical Exchange set up so you can load your documents, all your immunizations and CPR and all that up in there, and your pre-check, which is your drug screen and background check. Anyway, if you do not have a copy of your drug screen and background check, you can email Tiffany Thompson and she'll be able to get that for you. And I wouldn't wait, because you got to have that stuff to get it loaded, because I don't want anybody to get an occurrence for not having their stuff done. And then while you're at clinical, there are going to be post-conference days where you actually get out of clinical and come to STC, or you may go home and we may do virtual post-conference. But sometime during the post-conferences, y'all are going to have to do a teaching plan. We will assign the topics and we will assign the groups. And usually this is a group thing where we put like about 3 of y'all in a group together, and you have to come up with a detailed teaching plan. We will give you the information on that, the rubric, everything it has to include, and you will do a presentation on that, and that will be in Blackboard Collaborate. So you will actually present it, and you'll have to do a PowerPoint and do a handout and all kinds of stuff, but it's not hard. Most students enjoy that, actually. And then in April, you have, April 22nd, we know that you have an ATI that's due. I put it on here because I'm trying to make sure nobody misses anything. April 29th, you've got a proctored exam that you're going to come here and take. And then May 2nd is a Sunday. I put it in red. You have ATI due that night. And then you have another clinical day. And then finally, way in May 4th, y'all are going to come up here and get your final clinical grade and sign anything, if we can get that done. And then we did a little addendum for all things online and virtual, just to cover us, so you can read through this. This is in the event we have to go totally online or make some changes, like if we can't test on campus anymore and we have to start testing, through Respondus at your house. Or so anyway, so that's what this is. We had to just put it in there, and then your back pages are your ATI activities. And you can see I tried to color code and group it together. So for test 1, you've got 2 different things you have to get done, okay? And we know that these 2 things are due by 12 noon the day before that test. So your first test is Wednesday of next week. Your first test is next Wednesday, I think it's the 20th. I think that's the day. So we know that these 2 things have to be done by noon on Tuesday. And you are absolutely 100% not to be in ATI when I'm lecturing and when Gigi's lecturing. If we see that you have been doing work in ATI from any 8:30 to 12 or any time that we got Blackboard session, you will be written up and you will lose 3 points off your final average for this class. I cannot be more clear about that. You absolutely, I don't care if you log into ATI for 1 minute and log out. If we see that you're in ATI anytime during our Blackboard lectures, you will be written up, period. And you will lose at least 3 points off your final average. That'll be a level 3 occurrence. So do not be in ATI and doing nothing else when we're lecturing, okay? So, test 2, I tried to color code it. So you've got 2 things for test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5, test 6. You will notice that test 7 does not have any ATI due. Yay! Woo! Okay? And then there's test 8 and test 9. So I did try to color code it so it would group it together for y'all so you could kind of try to see it better. And then at the end, y'all are familiar with this. This is the clinical evaluation tool. You had one for last semester. This is one that's similar to the one you had before, but some of the outcomes are a little bit different because, like the one that says provided a health-related teaching plan, that's the one we told you will do in a group, and y'all have to do a presentation. So these are, it's a little bit different, but anyway, let me figure out how to stop sharing. Yay! Okay, so I think I covered everything. Y'all may have a random question or something. If you want to ask it when we start class tomorrow, I just didn't want to spend, 30, 40 minutes going over this when we need to be in class, because you have got, if we get done early sometimes that's fine, but sometimes we're going to go literally till 12 o'clock or till 1:30 to get it done. So make sure that you're available as you can be. Let's see. Okay, so that's it. I am going to get this posted, and I've still got to finish reading. This book is new for me too. So I've been reading, and I got to go back over a few things and make some of my own notes. So I feel your pain. I'm reading just like y'all are. And anyway, we will see y'all at 8:30 in the morning for your second semester. And congratulations for making it and sticking in there and hanging in and not giving up. And, we all know each other by now. You know my personality. I know y'all. You'll get to know Gigi. I think you're going to like Gigi. And so I feel like, maybe y'all feel kind of relieved and, you feel good coming into this semester. I feel good. I think y'all should feel good. So anyway, that's it. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen. Hasta la vista. Bye.